Welcome to Hustle and Pro Season 2, talking sports in Frisco from youth to pro. Now here's your host, Kelly Walker.
Welcome to this episode of Hustle and Pro. I'm excited to talk to Jazzy Iljana today. Jazzy has a cool soccer story, some ups and downs, and so we're going to hear all about it. Welcome to Hustle and Pro, Jazzy.
Hi, thank you for having me. Great to be on this episode.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a few quick hits, some icebreakers to kind of get to know you a little better. So who would you say is your favorite athlete of all time?
My favorite athlete? Like in any sport?
Sure.
I'd probably say Kobe Bryant or Messi, like both in between there, kind of.
Yes. All my soccer guests have to say Messi at some point, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm just going with it because he's the best or whatever, but it's like because he started everyone was really negative with him because he was very short and so he basically just proved them all wrong. So that's why it's like I feel like I could do something like that.
Yeah, you like his story. I do too. What about sports movies? Are you into watching any soccer movies or any other sports movies that you can think of that you like?
I used to love watching the movie Goal and Goal 2.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably my favorite ones.
Those are good ones. What about superstitions? Do you have any game day superstitions that you have to do on game day?
On game day, I always have to go on the field with my shin guards on and my socks above my knees, like while I'm walking in. I don't know, it's just something I always do. And then I change my cleats like right before we start warming up. But my socks always have to be above my knees and my shin guards in.
Okay. It's like it has to make, is that what makes you feel right and ready to go?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm ready to get going.
One more quick hit. What's the farthest you've ever traveled to play sports or to watch sports?
I don't know, traveled a lot.
I bet you traveled lots for tournaments and play. Have you ever traveled internationally for sports?
No, never. No, I've never been anywhere internationally. Say I've been to Kansas, Florida. I'm trying to think. There's so many.
Road trips and...
Yeah, we usually go like Houston and Oklahoma, which aren't as far. But I've been to Missouri also. That's probably the furthest.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. So tell me about your story growing up. Obviously, you're a soccer player now, but did you play other sports when you were younger?
Yeah, so my mom always said I was very energetic when I was little. So she put me in multiple sports to like try to get me to put all of my energy in somewhere instead of running around the house all the time. So she tried putting me in gymnastics, I think volleyball, a little bit of basketball, but not really. And then she put me in soccer, and I was just like constantly running everywhere. So she thought it was perfect. So around 4 years old, I was put onto my first soccer team. And then I went to 6 years old, and that's when I started playing competitively.
At
and
6?
Ever since then, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So did you drop I was going to ask you, sorry, I interrupted you. So I was going to ask you, did you drop your other sports at what point? Like middle school is kind of, a common thing, but were you focused on soccer earlier than that?
Yeah. So in elementary school, like basically the rest, ever since I started playing competitively, it's only been soccer. Of course, in middle school, I played like volleyball and basketball, but it's just like for fun. Like if I didn't have practices or games that day, then I would go. But if it had to interfere with soccer, I would always choose soccer. It was always my priority over other sports.
Soccer was your first priority, but then you fit in some of the fun stuff at school.
Yeah.
Okay, so you played with FCD. When did you start playing with the FC Dallas Club?
I think 2016, my freshman year, I know for sure. So I think it was 2016.
Yeah. And you were also playing for your high school at the same time?
Yes.
Did you play for your high school through high school?
Well, I played my freshman and sophomore year, and then I played a little bit my junior year, but then that's when I tore my ACL, my meniscus.
Yes. So I didn't mean to skip right over that. So that's like the big talking point in your journey as of today, right? So you tore your ACL in March of 2019. So a full year ago. And so where did you have your surgery done?
At Children's Andrew Sports Institute in Plano.
Okay, so after you had the surgery at Children's Health, Andrews, I read that you then had like 9 months of really intense physical therapy and training and conditioning. It took you that long, right, to get cleared to play again? Almost a whole year later that you were cleared, February of this year, of 2020. Is that right?
Yes. So I had actually torn my ACL and my meniscus, and I had my surgery that March. And so I was good, going hard at it, physical therapy. And then again in September, I had a scope surgery to go back into my meniscus because it was bothering me. So then that put me like another month or two back. So I would have gotten cleared sooner, but then that was really bothering me. So I had to get a scope where they took out the stitching on my meniscus because I guess that's what was bothering me. Okay. And so then I got back at therapy again, and then I finally got cleared like a month or two later than I was originally going to get cleared. But it was still like on the dot kind of.
So the meniscus tear, did these two things happen at the same time? Like was this a one move or injury, a one moment that this all happened, or was some of it built up over time?
No, it happened during one of my games, actually, a showcase in in Houston, sorry. It was in Houston, and it was our first game of the tournament, and 20 minutes in, I was sprinting, and I planted my foot, and I tried to change directions, but I guess my foot, like, locked, and so my knee ended up, like, twisting the other way, and I just fell right down.
So it wasn't contact with another player or any?
No, it was just change of direction.
Wow, with your foot planted?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that was the meniscus also, you say, or?
Yes, that was my ACL and my meniscus.
At the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then tell me, in your words, I want to hear what the PT was like and the conditioning. I mean, going from somebody who's used to, obviously you've been conditioning playing soccer for years and years. What was the difference in your eyes, and harder, easier? What was harder about it or easier about it? The conditioning when you were rehabbing.
Yeah, so I had usually I had never had an injury like that, so I had always been in shape, always. And then when I had to be a month on crutches, oh my gosh, I already knew this whole process was going to be so hard, mentally and especially physically. So whenever I finally started running again, oh my gosh, I would get tired so easily, and it was the worst thing ever because I know that I've never been like that. So then I tried so hard to just get back in shape, and I get back in shape pretty easily. So it took me about a week and a half, maybe a week and a half to get fully back in the shape that I was.
Running
so, oh yeah, it was hard though. I've forgotten what that had felt like.
I bet, because you're always just being healthy, especially if you said this, you were always healthy. How many times were you headed over to Children's Health to do the PT work? Like a week? Were you there every day, a couple times a week, once a month?
For the first, I think, 3 months, I went 3 times a week. And then after that, it became 2 times a week. And then I had advanced to the EXOS program. Mm-hmm. It was it was a bridge group, but it's /EXOS. So it's a bridge group where they try to get us back into the shape and the strength that we need to get playing again. Mm-hmm. And then once I would increase from there, I would go on to the EXOS program where it's just full back at it, full strength, full speed, everything, no holding back. So I had been going to Plano every day ever since about July 2019. Wow. So I've been going there around every day almost.
That's a long time. A lot of FaceTime with those therapists, doctors, right? You probably got to know the people at Children's pretty well.
Oh, yeah. They're my homies now.
When you were going through that, I'm sure there was some, you mentioned mental and physical, or you might have used the word emotional. Did you find yourself down at times when you just were considering not coming back to soccer? Or was it always something you were always 100% knew you were going to be back to normal?
Yeah, well, I knew I was going to be able to play again, but I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to play the same, or that it would always hurt. So I would get really worried at times, especially at the beginning. I would just I cried a lot because I was really mad and sad and everything because you never expect it to happen to you.
Right.
So then it happened, and then you just like your mind like plays tricks on you kind of. And so then you worried about, oh my gosh, what if I don't play? What if I can't play the same? Like, what's going to happen? But then, like, once you start getting back into it, like with your strength, conditioning, like starting to move the ball back again, you gain more confidence. And that's what happened to me. So I started worrying less. And I just let my body heal, like, and just see where it went. I had to be patient with it.
That's hard for some people. That's hard. That would be hard for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not patient at all. So it was really hard.
Patience is hard. And like you said, the doubting yourself, it's hard to not, for that not to happen. But like you said, once you set your mind to that you're going to be okay, and you just kind of had some patience, then you'll get there. Okay. So then let's talk about that. So, you were cleared to play February of this year. So you're, getting back out there. And then you had a little bit of a setback as far as timing, right? You're probably not allowed to play right now because as we record this, we're still isolated and not able to get out there and train with our teams. But did that change anything as far as your course and your decision to what's next after your senior year of high school?
No, everything's about still the same, just a setback. Like, I won't have practices, so I just have to practice on my own, you know? So, no, everything's pretty much the same goal, same plan.
So tell me about that plan. So I read, or I'm going to let you tell me. So where are you going to be playing next year?
I'm planning to play at the United States Naval Academy.
So how did that come
Maryland?
Up? In Maryland, yes, in Annapolis. So I'm reading through all the lists of all the kiddos the seniors who got to participate in the FC Dallas Chase signing night a month or two ago. It seems like forever ago now. And I didn't see many Naval Academy names listed. So I want to know why that. How did you come up with that decision?
Well, my club team for FC Dallas, we had a showcase in Arizona, I think in 2017. It was towards the end of my freshman year. And after our first game, my manager comes up to my coach and I, and he tells us how the coach of the the United States Naval Academy wanted to talk to my coach. And then I was like, who is that or whatever. And then he told us how it was like a really major school, whatever, and they only accept 8 students a year for soccer.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was one of them that they were looking at, and he had told my coach that he wanted to see more of me. So he kept attending our games and our showcases. And a few months later, by now it's 2018 of like January, and he had sent another, like his assistant coach, to come watch me. And I didn't know. It was without me knowing. So it was just like out of the blue. And they had then come up to me after the game. Well, not up to me because I couldn't yet, but up to my coach. And we had a contact through my coach because of NCAA rules.
Right.
And so we would all communicate like through emails and stuff. And he told me how he wanted to keep seeing me play and that he was very interested and that he's like what he's seeing. And then about a month later after that, they came to another showcase that we had in Florida. And then after that, they gave me an offer once I got home from that showcase. So they called me up and they asked if I would be interested. And they said I had a year to think about it. And I was like, Can I just say yes now? And they were like, yeah, sure. And so then I said yes. And then ever since then, like, I've been committed. So that was my sophomore year.
Oh, wow. You've known that long that you were going there. So when you knew they were kind of looking at you, this something you were talking to your family about in the background. So is that why when you got the offer, you were ready to go ahead and say yes?
Yeah, because like once we realized they were looking at me, we obviously did like some research on the school. So we knew that I would have to obviously like serve some time after I graduate. So, but like we took all of that into notice. So we basically searched up everything, and we were all good with it. And we thought it would be a good idea, and so yeah, we didn't hesitate.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing place to be. Have you been able to see campus yet?
Yes, I actually went on a visit last year.
It's beautiful.
In October.
It's a pretty unique place. I'm excited for you.
Very beautiful.
So you were talking about when one of those, a coach sent an assistant coach to watch you at a game or a showcase, but you didn't know. So I'm curious, do you think it's better to not know when there's somebody scouting you, recruiting you, so that you just do your thing and you're not nervous? Or do you think it's better to know so that you can like step it up even more?
I feel, well, personally, I think I play the same. Like, yeah, I'll get nervous for a little bit, but then like once you're in the game, you don't really think about anybody that's there. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. It's a good heads up, but then again, it doesn't matter. That's just me personally, though.
That's good. Yeah, for you personally.
I guess I was lucky that I had a good game that day. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. But even coaches, I mean, I think, good coaches and good people that are recruiting, they can tell, especially in the game of soccer, you can tell a lot by a player, even if they have not the best game ever. You can still tell a lot by how somebody works out there on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it sounds like you did have a good game though. So that didn't even matter. Were you able to go to that signing night that I was talking about with FC Dallas?
Yes, I was actually there. I got a platform and everything.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at though. Oh, it's right there in the back.
That's cool. So, are you on the DA team or you said your club team? Are those two different things?
Yeah. Well, it's my club team, but it's different leagues. It's still FC Dallas program, but it's a different league because I wanted to play high school. So I stuck with ECNL my freshman and sophomore year. And then we turned into DPL this year. So, but we had always been ECNL my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So I played for the ECNL 02 FC Dallas club.
Okay.
Mm.
Very good. All right. So a couple little easy questions. First of all, I've heard you have a good juggling amount that you can juggle. So how much can you juggle?
Well, this was a few years ago, like about 3, where I actually kept track, and the most I counted was 2,523.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
2,523?
Yes.
That's insane. I don't know anybody who can do that much. I didn't even know that people do that many. Wow.
Yeah, I felt like keeping track that day, so I was just like going and going. It took about 20 minutes.
It never hit the ground?
No. My legs got tired and that's how I stopped.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Wow. I thought you were going to say like 100 or something. 2,000 plus. That's crazy. Man, you must have really good control for the ball. But you're a forward, right?
Yes, I'm a forward and attacking midfielder. Okay,
forward and attacking midfielder. And then you play, your jersey number is number 7. Is there any significance to that number for you, or is it just kind of a number you've always worn? Or?
Well, actually, yes. So when I was little, I used to be number 6 because of the amount of family members we had. But then my sister-in-law had a baby, so then it got switched to 7 because I was younger. So basically, it just like represents our family members, and it's always been my lucky number. So it's just like my favorite number.
Yeah, lucky number 7. That's cool. Well, good.
Yeah, lucky number 7.
Yeah, lucky number 7. Well, I'm excited to watch your journey. So I've had a lot of high school athletes that I've talked to over the last year and a half, and I love following them. So if you see a follow on Twitter from me, that's why I like to follow you and see what you're doing, playing in college, and if you ever come back and want to talk to us again, let me know. But good luck in your journey. Oh, I do have one last question. I meant to ask you earlier when you mentioned some goals you have. Do you have any more specific goals for soccer? I mean, you're attaining one as you go off in the fall to play for the Naval Academy, but do you have anything beyond that you wanted to do?
Well, I feel like every girl, they want to play professionally one day. Obviously, that's still my dream. But you never know, so we'll just see what happens. Keep doing what I do, and if it happens, it happens.
Right. So if you're not playing soccer, what do you want to do professionally then?
Well, I want to work in the medical field. I want to be able to help people the way that I was helped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Would you have said that before all of this injury happened, or is that something that really, had a light bulb moment for you that you wanted to do that with your life?
Yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do. Not always, but I thought about it in high school. So around sophomore year, I knew that I wanted to be somewhere in the medical field. And then especially now, like now that I've been worked on, like I know how it is. So I really want to do it now, especially.
Yeah. And you know how important it is for those people to take care of their patients and kind of get their life put back together as they knew it before they were hurt, right?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Thank you for taking the time and getting on our web podcast interview. So good luck at the Naval Academy as you head off next year, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you so much.